Hello guys, and welcome to this YouTube channel. So today we're going to learn about data analysis tools. So using Microsoft Excel. So this is our lesson 6. So under this lesson we're going to cover introduction to Excel's built-in data analysis tools, the pivot tables and pivot charts. We're going to create a pivot table to summarize and analyze data. Then the last part, we're going to generate pivot charts for visual representation of data trends. So let us dive into the lesson of the day. So I have the following sample data of Epic car dealers that we used in our previous lesson. So you can pause the video and enter the data so that you can be at par. So that is our data up to 15. So for you to analyze data using the pivot charts and the pivot tables, you go to insert, then under the charts section, you have the pivot chart. The pivot chart, when you click the drop down arrow, you have the pivot chart, then you have the pivot table. So what you do, click on the pivot chart, then it will bring for you this pop-up box. Choose the data that you want to analyze. So select a table or range, so it will automatically select for you the table that you have created, or you can also use an external data source, but already you have one. So choose where you want the pivot chart to be placed. So it should be placed on a new worksheet. Then you click OK. So after that, it will direct you to a new worksheet. Then you have this section on your right. So you can add the fields that you want. For example, we want to analyze the data of the buyer's name to their vehicle price and the vehicle make and the vehicle type. So you select on the buyer name against the vehicle price, and also the buyer under the buyer name we should have the vehicle type, the make, the vehicle type and the make. So that is it. After doing that, so you have created a pivot chart. Then this is a pivot table. So it summarizes Glenn. Glenn has purchased both a bus and a pickup worth that price. Then John purchased a bus worth that price. Ken has purchased a matatu and a saloon car. Then you have Peter purchased a matatu and a pickup. All those. Then it brings for you a grand total, and also it sums up the vehicle price. So realize that Glenn has purchased both cars with 31. This is 31,800,000. So you realize that on our pivot chart, this bar chart has hit the 30 million mark, meaning it summarizes the sum of the vehicle price, and at this lower axis we have the name of the buyer and the vehicle that they have purchased at one part, also the name of the buyer and the car that they have purchased. So that is how you create a pivot chart and a pivot table. So the next thing, you can apply formatting to this chart by going to the design tab, and under the design tab you can change the color of the chart to what you wish, but what we have is okay. So another thing, a chart should appear on its own sheet. So for you to move a chart to its own sheet, you come to the design tab, then you go to move chart, then the object is in sheet 4 as you can see here, but you want to move it to a new sheet. So click on new sheet, then let's call it call it pivot chart. Then you click OK. So now we have our pivot chart that you have created, and on sheet 4 we have our pivot table. So that is it about the pivot charts and the pivot table. Unless you have a question, you may leave it at the comment section below. If you have not subscribed to our channel, kindly subscribe to our channel, and thank you for being with me till the end.